Welcome back. Let's talk about personalization, the importance of making the experience personal and customized to that individual client. Now, why is this important? Why is it necessary to personalize the experience? Well, in an online experience, if you have an online store, it is especially essential to personalize the experience because they can't see you. They can't hear you. They can't see your face. They can't sense your emotions. So you need to go out of the way to create that personalization. Your customer needs to realize that you are a real person. And I'm telling you, it seems like, in my experience, the more personalization that I can do, the less rudeness you get in return, if that makes sense. Have you ever noticed that people who are in a strictly online setting, like an online forum or Facebook or something, have a much higher likelihood of being rude? I have found that this is so true because people feel anonymous. Whereas if a person sees you face to face, it's a little harder for them to be rude. So by creating this personalization, you also have the double benefit not only of making that person feel valued and important and seen, but you also cut down on the risk of really negative customer interactions if for whatever reason they're unhappy with the product. And that's always a plus. Well, I'm gonna have 5 tips for you on how you can help build this personalization into your process. Number 1, always call your customers by name. This is so important, especially when you are dealing with email or some sort of electronic communication, whether it's text. They can't see you, they can't hear emotion. I mean, you can have emoticons and that sort of thing, but those get old after a while and they don't seem very professional. But whenever you are reaching out to a client, address them by name. Hi, Mary. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Stephanie. Whatever their name is, have it in every single communication back and forth. Now, when you're face to face with a person, you actually can go overboard with this. So if you keep using a person's name over and over, it can actually seem a little bit sleazy, a little bit salesperson-y, like you're trying to get into their good graces. But it's almost impossible to go overboard on this when you're dealing with electronic communication. So always put their name in there. It's really easy. It's simple. Number 2 is what I'm calling the importance of box A. In every communication with your clients, you are not just going to get down to business. At some point in that email message, you need to build that know, like, and trust factor because people do not buy from people that they do not know, like, and trust. So you need to ask a personal question about them. You need to somehow tie in something that you know about them that expresses your genuine interest in them as a person. This can be really simple because sometimes you don't know who your customers are. You don't know a whole lot about them. Say it's coming up on Christmas. Just say, I'm hoping that you and your loved ones are having a very Merry Christmas. Say that you know that the woman you're talking to is a mom. Say, wishing you a happy Mother's Day. Now, if you know a little bit more about the client and you've been talking for a period of time, this can be easier to add in the box A because you know more about them. So, for example, say that you know that the person is a student and that they had final exams. Well, in your next message to them, say a couple weeks later, say, how was the final exam? How did you do? And then get on to the business aspect of it. The way you have to think about it is if you were to reach out to a close friend or to a family member, would you just immediately get down to business and be like, boom, 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 we have to cover these topics? No, you never would. Instead, you would find out how that person is doing and you'd say, how are the kids? You would bring in some sort of element that personalizes the experience so that you're building that know, like, and trust factor. Number 3 is I want you to find a me too moment. Now, maybe you're asking, what is a me too moment? Basically, that is where you're pointing out that the two of you are similar in some aspect. Why is this important? Well, people like people that are like them. It creates a sense of trust. So if the client mentions something that's similar to you, maybe you both went to the same school, you both had the same degree, you studied the same thing in school, maybe you both live in a similar area, I want you to bring this up. A way that I do this a lot with clients that I don't know well is I'll be shipping them samples and I'll find out that, hey, they live in Orange County too, and I live in Orange County. I will point that out and I'll be like, I'm right down the street from you, literally 10 minutes. We're practically neighbors. I don't want you to fake this Me Too moment because I want you to be authentic and I want you to only express it if it's actually accurate. So don't lie about it, it's not worth it. But what you can do is if a Me Too moment presents itself, I want you to call it out. Number 4, you have to have a handwritten note. In this era of electronic communication, a handwritten note that you put in with each order that goes out goes such a far way. Handwritten notes are few and far between these days. It is a dying art. And I want you just to spend 3 minutes max on a handwritten note that you're sending out with every order. And in it, include some of the box A that we talked about in our previous message, where you are mentioning something that's personal, wishing you the best on your exams. I hope it's heated up over there in New Zealand or wherever this person is from. You're mentioning something that you've already discussed in your previous conversation and you're personalizing it to them. This is a really cost-effective way of creating that emotional connection and personalization experience. Last one is number 5. You can always hop on a 10-minute phone call, a 10-minute Skype message, and let your customers know this is an option, that you are willing to go the extra mile and Skype with them so that you can make sure you're both on the same page. If you don't feel comfortable giving out your phone number, get a Google Voice number so that everything is anonymous. But this can really help you when a person sees you face to face and you talk via phone. It can smooth out a lot of the miscommunications and it makes that person feel valued, loved, and like they're not just one of a million. They are important to you and they really are. They are helping you grow your business, so they should feel important. Thank you.